Okay.
I have started the recording already. Thank you.
Okay, great. Okay, very good morning and very good evening to everyone. Can you all quickly confirm? We'll be doing a lot of conversation here, and I would prefer the conversation mode should be through the chat. Okay, and if required, you can also unmute, but I would prefer that I would be giving a breaks in between to ask the question. At that time, you unmute and ask the question. In between, we'll be having a communication through the chat only. So can you quickly everyone confirm, put yes in the chat window if you are able to see my screen and if you are also able to hear me loud and clear. Okay. If you are able to hear me, if you are able to see my screen, I have shared a mind map on the screen. If you are able to see that, put yes in the chat window quickly. To go to chat to check the chat messages. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the confirmation. We'll be proceeding ahead. Now, before we proceed ahead, I want quickly to know you that how many of you are completely new to SAP MM or completely new to SAP. Okay, you have not done any consulting role or any consulting job you have not done. Okay, if you are completely new, completely fresher, put NEW, new in the chat window quickly. So Anush is completely new. Okay. And when Anush said new, I am expecting that all other people have already working as SAP consultants. Only Anush is there who is completely new and not working. Avinash is also new. He's not working as SAP consultant. Okay. So Anush and Avinash, we have two new people who would be working first time as SAP consultant. Uh, Now let me know the all other people. Let me know if you say that you already have experience consulting SAP MM or consulting SAP, which module you are already consulting. Okay, which module consultant you are, which module you belong from, MM, SD, PP. Because I know here when the participants join us, there are a lot of participants join us who wants to start SAP consulting journey. That's why you come here for the training. But we have a lot of other participants also who came here for the cross trainings. They already know one module and they came here for the cross training. They want to know the another training. Okay, so the people who joined us for the cross training, put CT in the chat window. Put CT in the chat window, people who joined for the cross training. So Pratima, Swapnil, Nasheet. Okay, Pratima come from cross training. Sharif is already MM consultant. Okay, not a worry. How about other Anusha, Sana, Anusha, Anisha Patil? Quickly, are you want to start your career in SAP? For that, you want to take this training or you want to get cross trained yourself? If you want to start a career, put new in the chat window. And if you came here for the cross training, put CT in the chat window quickly. Okay. So, okay, I got few responses. Rest all other people are not able to respond. So make a note that whenever I'm asking a question, if you want to get 100% out of this training, make sure you are responding over the chat. Now the phenomena is that I would be asking in between the questions, and I want you to respond through the chat. Why? Because as soon as you put your fingers and start typing something, your focus will come back to this training. I'm doing this online trainings for more than now 8 to 9 years, and I know that how it works, how I can make it better, even better than a classroom training. I know all of these things, and to do all of these things, this training need to be very interactive. If it will not be interactive, whatever the focus you will try to put it there, it's the human mind. It will go here, it will go there. Human mind cannot concentrate more than 20 minutes. So why I ask questions to you, so that you put something, as soon as you will type something, you are giving next 20 minutes to me. Okay, if you want to really get out from these sessions which we will be doing, this would be a demo session, we'll be doing complete training. But if you really want to get out from these trainings, I would suggest you, whatever the questions I'm asking, you respond on the chat. The questions would be simple, yes, no, but as soon as you type something there, you are giving me your focus for this training for next 20 minutes. So I would be making sure that every 15-20 minutes I ask some questions, so that you would get interacted with this training, right? So please respond over the chat whenever the question has been asked. Second thing, sit in these sessions with your notebook and with your pen so that you can take the notes. Okay, you can take a pen and a notebook to take the notes. If you are more digital, you can open OneNote, or you can open any another application, Google Keep, where you put your notes and start keeping your notes. That is another second point that will make you very tentative into these trainings, because sometimes the sessions would be long, 2 hour sessions. It is not easy to have a focus on the session. Focus will only come if you train your mind like that. When you start keeping notes, your mind is working that I need to capture something from the training to get the noted. Or when I ask something, you need to answer it. Your mind is also tentative that I need to answer it, so that it would be focusing on the session. So make sure you are using those tactics to get 100% from these trainings. So I'm quickly starting. So the people who don't know me, I am Parminder. I'm having a more than 18 years of SAP experience, SAP consulting experience. Before that, I am having around 4 years of experience in SAP in operations experience. I am having. I started my career journey as SAP PP consultant, and from PP I learned and worked on the different modules. I have worked on MM, SD. I have worked on. I have also worked on some part of the CEO controlling part. I have also worked on the transportation management, transportation planning. So different modules I have worked. I'm doing freelancing from last three to not three, now it's more around last 4 to 5 years. I'm completely doing freelancing where I do projects. Okay, within India, US, Europe projects. I do the projects, and also I do the training. So I do 50 to 50% of the time I spend on my projects, and I try to spend 50% of the time on the trainings. Around the globe, I have trained more than 3,000 people, including my personal training, including corporate trainings. I am associated with many of the corporate companies to upskill the people to own SAP S4 HANA. So I have delivered core training in SD, MM, PP modules. I have also delivered the excellence trainings to upskill people who have already working on particular module, who is already working on ECC. They want to upskill to S4 HANA. That part also I have done. So more than 3,000 people have upskilled so far on SAP S4 HANA. So that is a brief background about me. The sourcing and procurement, I'm training it from last more than 5 years. I'm training, and I think this would be the batch number 27th or 28th batch it would be, which we are conducting it. We have put it a structure like that you come here, you get trained from us, and then you would be able to search for the jobs, you would be able to clear the interviews, you would be able to work after clearing the interviews, joining a company, you would be able to work independently as SAP sourcing and procurement consultant. That kind of structure we have put it. Now this I would be explaining more what you are getting out of this training. So we have put it a bundle, and in bundle you will be getting multiple things. Okay, apart from sourcing and procurement mastery training, you would also be getting the SAP job and mastery. I will explain you what is that, but let's quickly jump on the topic. Okay, so most of the training I would be conducting through the mind maps. Okay, I have a see, I'm experimenting it. I was not delivering the training the way I'm delivering it 7 years ago. So I'm keep on experimenting with my training content, with my way of training. I try my best that how to engage people, how I can engage with the people, and how they can get maximum out of this training without sleeping. So I always try to do some innovations. So from last couple of years, I'm using this mind maps, and all of the topics I try to explain through the mind maps. So we'll be jumping on it. So the thing we are going to learn is SAP S4 HANA sourcing and procurement. Okay, SAP S4 HANA sourcing and procurement. I would be starting because there are some people who are completely fresh. They would be working first time on SAP. They would be doing, after this training, they would be working first time as a consultant. There are people who already working as a consultants, right, who came here for the cross training. So I would like to make sure that everybody initially come on a same single platform, and then from there we would be starting learning it. So I have a very deep mind map which has all the things into it. I would be starting first letting you know that now we are learning that what is we will be learning the SAP MM or SAP sourcing and procurement. So first let you know what is MM, what is sourcing and procurement. So earlier when we were working in ECC, the name was SAP MM, SAP Materials Management. That was the module name. Now, when we went to S4 HANA, in S4 HANA, SAP is doing a lot of corrections. One of the corrections it is doing that it is going more towards the business language. Now, the module which MM module was there, it was more dealing into buying of the products, okay, and making sure it has been received in your premise. Little bit of inventory management part and making sure all the buying operations has been handled under this module, MM. MM has been translated from the German word. It is not a correct word for that module in ECC. I always get confused why material management in SD sales also we do the materials management in production also whatever the things we do is all materials management. So material management was always a wrong name for that module which has been corrected now, and it is called SAP S4 HANA Sourcing and Procurement. Basically in MM module also what we were covering, we were covering sourcing, buying part, and the procurement. I would be taking you through that what is the difference between sourcing and what is the difference between procurement. That part also we'll discuss. So first we'll be discussing very basics part of it. Okay, so I have explained you what is materials management. MM people get confused कि यार MM करना है कि S4HANA sourcing and procurement करना है. Both are same. MM is name in ECC. S4HANA sourcing and procurement is a name in S4HANA. Same module, they have two names. In ECC it's called MM. In S4HANA it's called sourcing and procurement. Okay, that's a better and right name that they have corrected in S4HANA. But all together would be having the same business processes. Make a note of it. Make a note of it. Make a note of it. If you are noting down, whenever you are preparing your CVs, you need to use both keywords. SAP MM is a keyword, and SAP S4 HANA sourcing and procurement is also a keyword. So I want you to use in your CVs SAP S4 HANA sourcing and procurement in bracket SAP MM, because a lot of job profiles they are looking for SAP S4 HANA candidates. Still in the job description SAP MM would be written, because MM is the word which is going through and people are still in the job description they have MM. So if you put in your CV you know sourcing and procurement, SAP sourcing and procurement, your CV will not get selected because job description mentioned SAP MM, and they use the automatic systems to search your CVs, and then it will not get selected. So make sure you use the both words SAP MM and sourcing and procurement. Now, before I jump into that SAP MM or sourcing and procurement, let's first have a look on the overview part that where SAP fits in. Okay, I was doing this training for a batch of people. They are doing a graduation and then they want to jump into SAP, and then I was explaining them. So one guy asked me, "Sir, what is business? What kind of business we are talking about? Why the SAP itself is required?" So let's talk about that basic part, that what is business and why SAP is required. So we'll also be preparing, I use another tool to prepare these diagrams. Okay, right now I have taken a snapshot of it and put it into the mind map. All the diagrams which we'll be preparing, I will take a snapshot, put it into the mind map, and I would be sharing mind map through our LMS system to you. Okay. Now, this is talking about a overall scenario. Okay, before I jump into something SAP, I give a lot of importance to the business processes. Okay, whatever the consultant you are, whichever the module you follow, make sure you are very strong on the business processes. If you're strong on the business processes, learning would be very easy. Concepts would be very clear. If you will just follow the configuration, SPRO, SPRO में क्या है? SPRO configuration is not that big thing. Okay, I can teach you. You can also get it taught, you can also get it teach it from the Google, YouTube, everywhere is there. But very important thing is that you should be having a very clear understanding on the different business processes. So this is the overall business process which has been put it. We'll be going very deep in this training into the different business processes which is covered under the SAP MM or sourcing and procurement. Now this is the example of US Foods Limited. Okay, under the US Foods Limited, they are manufacturing some foods products. Okay, they are manufacturing some juices. Okay, some packed juices they are manufacturing, and they are doing the selling. They are having a factories all around the world. Okay, and but this is an example for the US entity. US entity is producing juices and they are selling it. So, if they want to produce the juice, okay, if they want to produce the juice, they want to do the manufacturing of the juice. First, they want to make sure that all the materials they would be buying it. Okay, they should go ahead and buy all the materials. Okay, so first they would be doing a buying part. For buying part, there would be a particular department who would be working. Some parts, some places it would be known as a vendor management. Some parts, this department would be known in the business as a supply chain department. Some parts it would be known as a buying department only. So there would be a department in the company who would be making sure that whatever the raw materials are required for this manufacturing to produce juices, we buy those raw materials. So they would be working to buy the direct materials and to buy the indirect materials. What are the direct materials? Direct materials are which would be directly going into your product juice. So if I talk about juice, in juice I need fruits, I need sugar, I need salt, I need my juice bottle, then I need wrapping. So these all are direct materials because it would be part of my product. But a lot of indirect material also would be required. So you are managing the office. In the office, you require a lot of office equipment. You require a printers. You need cartridges. You need A4 papers, A3 papers. You need pens. In the manufacturing, you need a lot of safety equipments. You need safety shoes, safety helmets. That is not directly part of your product, right? So that's the indirect material. So a procurement team would be working to buy a lot of direct materials which would be part of the product, and a lot of indirect materials need to be bought, the machinery need to be bought, the spare parts need to be bought, so that we would be able to run the operation. So this is the department who would be working on to buy the materials. So there would be a vendor. So to this vendor, they would be sending a purchase order. Uh, Whatever the material we need to buy, for that a purchase order would be sent to the vendor, and vendor would be deliver the product, and we will be storing it into our warehouse. In our warehouse, we will be storing that product, and then from those warehouse, these products will be transferred to the manufacturing so that they would be able to manufacture and produce it. Okay, and then manufacturing department would be producing it, and then it would be sending it for the sales. There would be outbound warehouse where they can send it for the sales. The SD department, the sales department, would be making sure that it has been dispatched. So you see these hubs, these are called distribution centers. It will go to the distribution centers, and distribution center, or the other term which is used is outbound warehouse. It will go to these warehouses, and from those warehouses it would be sold to the customer. So that is full end-to-end scenario, right? So we buy it, we produce it, and we sell it. You see here majorly the three departments has been involved: your buying, your manufacturing and producing, and your sales. Okay, apart from that, there are a lot of another departments which will getting integrated with this. Okay, I would still focus on the supply chain. I will not go to the HR side of it. I would still focus on the supply chain. Okay. Okay, so now there would be another part which would be coming it. One of the thing is your finance departments. Finance department would be responsible to maintain the books. Okay, why we are doing this business? We do this business to basically generate some revenue or indirectly to make profits. Everybody we generate we do the business to make sure we're generating a profits. So which department would be the one who would be making sure that you are maintaining the books to make sure that how much of the profit we are doing, whether we are going into the profit, whether we are going into the loss. Okay, so to do that, we need to maintain our books, financial books, general ledger entries we need to maintain. Anything we buy, we need to make an entry. Anything we sell, we need to make an entry. Anything we produce, we need to make an entry. So that we, and these maintaining these entries is also mandatory from the legal perspective. If you want to do a business in any country, you need to follow those countries' rules and norms to maintain your books. Every country can have a different norms and regulation by which you need to maintain your books. You need to do the recording. Okay. This module, FICO module, always also sometimes known as R&R. Okay, record and report. So everything, all the transaction in the financial terms, what debit has been happened, what credit has been happened, need to be stored here. When we are receiving this entry, some credit debit will happen. When we are producing something, some credit debit will happen. When we are selling to the customer, some credit debit will happen. When we'll pay to the vendor, some credit debit will happen. When we receive a payment from the customer, some credit debit will happen. Everything need to be maintained in the books, and for that we use a FICO module. This FICO module would be having a linkage with all the other modules. This is one of the module by which we will not be able to run the SAP. So you can do, actually you can do the buying operation without MM. You still would be able to buy from the vendor. You still would be able to pay from the vendor only with FICO, only with the financial entries. But you cannot use MM module or a sourcing and procurement module without implementing FICO, because there is a strong interlinkage with it. Not only with this, not only with this MM module, FICO would be linked with all of the other modules, PP, SD, MM, whatever the module we'll talk about. You will find the linkages with FICO module is there. Finance books need to be maintained, and because of the maintenance of the book, this module would be linking with all of the modules. Okay, that would be one of the department. Then inventory management also would be linked. When you are receiving it here, you need to manage your inventory here. When you're transferring it to here, to this point, you are actually transferring your inventory, you are doing inventory management. You need to store the products into the manufacturing area, you are doing inventory management. You are transferring it to the SD, and from here you are transferring it to the warehouse. These all transfers of the goods which we are doing, it's called, it comes under the inventory management. Okay, this all would be coming under the inventory management module. So these would be the departments would be there. Inventory management, warehouse management would be one department. Your buying would be department, manufacturing would be department, sales would be department. Apart, so these all departments actually would be termed as a modules also. So the module names are actually coming from the business process. There is specific departments, there is specific areas in the business which some particular people handle those, and they do a lot of operations on those areas. So SAP created a module to support that part of the business. To support buying part, SAP has a module MM, or sourcing and procurement. To support inventory management, SAP has a module IM, or they have a module WM, and now in S4HANA they have a module EWM. These all are separate modules. IM would be clubbed with all of the modules. In MM also you need to know a little bit of IM. With PP also you need to know a little bit of IM, and with SD also you need to know a little bit of inventory management, how the inventory management happens. But basically from the SAP curriculum point of view, inventory management has been clubbed with the MM module. Okay, MM will be having a inventory management. So then we also have, for manufacturing, we have a PP module, who SAP PP module, who will be taking care of the manufacturing. Then we also have a planning part. Okay, the planning also need to happen. Can anyone tell me that what are the modules for the planning on the chat? So for manufacturing, we use PP, but what module we use it for the planning? If I need to do the planning, quickly over the chat. And when I say that, when I ask any questions, if you don't know the answer, put NI in the chat window. NI means no idea. Okay. But you need to type something so that if you're going out of focus, I need to bring you back here quickly. Okay. NI. Okay. From Sherry. PS. PS we use for planning. Avinash said no idea. That's okay. Kalidan said that production planning, PP module itself we use for the planning. Anush said that we use PP. Thank you. Thank you everyone who has responded over the chat. Thank you very much for your responses. You are correct. So PP has two modules, production and planning. Okay. PP module can also do the planning. So here if you will see, yeah. Here if you will see, PP I can use for the planning. Apart from that, if I want to do the advanced planning. Now what kind of planning we are talking about? Planning we are talking about that how much we need to produce on a particular day, which product I need to produce, how much quantity I need to produce. That is called the planning. Same way, you need to also know that how much I need to buy, which material I need to buy, what should be the quantity I need to buy. So the planning, you can see that the planning side, one line also go into that. This planning is also integrated with MM because I need to know, I need to plan it based on the requirement I have from the sales side or based on my forecast. I should know कि भैया कितना buy करना है, how much I need to buy, what is the quantity I need to buy. That things I need to know, right? That's why the planning is interlinked with the MM module also. So PP provide us a MRP engine, which is used material requirement planning. I would be covering the basic of it, although MRP I cover in very much in detail and depth. In tomorrow session, we are having a PP training also going on. Tomorrow evening, we have a session on MRP actually for the PP training. We take in very depth the planning part, but the basics also will be covering in MM also, the basics of MRP, material requirement planning. That is the engine which will be used for the planning purpose. But if you want advanced planning, if you want advanced plannings are available through APO. APO is a different product as well as module. It is called Advanced Planning and Optimization. Nowadays, APO is getting replaced by IBP, Integrated Business Planning. So APO and IBP are the modules which can be used for the advanced planning, but the basic level of planning can be done with the PP module. Okay. So this planning modules would be getting integrated with the manufacturing, with the planning will getting integrated with the buying, planning will also get integrated with the selling. And there would be a specific department can be there who would be working as a planners or planning, or they are also sometime the department is called PPC, production planning and control. Okay, production planning and control. So that way it would be linking with this also. Apart from that, there would be other departments also would be there. There can be a plant maintenance department. Plant maintenance, we have a machinery, so we need to do the maintenance of the machinery. We need a maintenance orders for them. And to maintain the machinery, whenever we'll be doing a maintenance, we need oil filters need to be changed, air filters need to be changed, some spare parts will be requiring it. Okay, so those spare parts you need to store it. So plant maintenance will get integrated with the inventory management, and you need to also buy those spare parts, right, for the maintenance. That way it will get integrated with your MM also. And whenever you will be doing some inventory related transaction, plant maintenance will also get linked with the FICO module, because that is some cost which you are occurring it, and that cost need to be recorded. So plant maintenance also is there. SAP PM is also there as a module which can integrate with these different modules, with these different departments. Then you can also have SAP PS. SAP PS's module is called SAP Project Structures. So it is used for specific industry. If you work in a construction industry, or if you work in a heavy manufacturing, heavy manufacturing industry, or if you work in an industry where basically you get a project, that would be a 6 month project, 1 year project, or a 2 year project, and you would be buying, procuring it, producing it for some specific project, and once the project is over, you will go into the next one. Construction of the buildings is one of that example. Heavy manufacturing, which I said, if you are if you are having a contract to build 10 airplanes, right? So that is a particular project. So building that, producing that airplane would be covered under a project. If you are manufacturing a big ship, okay, it take around 3 years, 4 years, 5 years of time to produce a big ship. So that would be a particular project. All the buying and everything would be controlled for that particular project to produce one particular ship. For that kind of things, SAP has a module which is called SAP PS. Okay, PS is the module which is used, project system. PS would be linked because a lot of buying, project specific buying you need to do, so it will be linking with MM. Okay, and it would be linking with inventory management. It would be also linking with FICO also. Then when you need to plan to send the products to your customers, or you want to get the products from your vendor, okay, and you want to plan your transportation. Okay, I want to send it to here, and from here I want to send it to this customer. How big should be the truck? Who should be the freight provider? What would be the cost which would be going into the freight? Can I select a 30-ton truck rather than a 20-ton truck to save the freight cost? Can I select DHL, then the another freight provider, to save the cost? So that is called the transportation planning. So there would be a team in your business who would be working to do the transportation planning, making sure the trucks are available, right trucks are available at right cost to deliver the product to the customer, or to have an internal delivery between your factory and your distribution centers. That is called transportation. For that also, SAP has a module. It is known as TM, transport management. Now, to managing the warehouse systems, we have a product called EWM, Extended Warehouse Management, or with simple IM also you can manage your warehouses. So now these are the different departments you would be having. Now I'm coming to the question that, boss, why do I need SAP? Why I should go for SAP? Why so many companies are implementing SAP? Why there is a huge demand for consultants in SAP? Why SAP consultants are paid so high? Okay, so you would be knowing that the business is that big. You as a MM consultant only focus on this small area, right? It looks small, but when you will jump into it, this small thing itself will become ocean. Now the question comes that, why do we need SAP? So you need that. So I have just put it a one manufacturing unit in front of you, and I am discussing from 10,000 feet level. Okay, when you will go granular, in a company there can be the business into the different countries. Within a country there can be 100 of distribution centers, there can be 20 or 30 manufacturing plants. So to have a clear picture out of it, that where I am producing what, okay, or where I should produce what quantities of material, and from where I need to supply which customers, that kind of, the transparency, if you required, you need a ERP product. ERP is enterprise resource planning. Okay, so SAP is a software of ERP, enterprise resource planning. You need a ERP. There are the multiple ERPs available. SAP is one of the best ERP which has been used. All the Fortune 500 companies, if you will see, here and there at some place, 80% of the companies are using products from SAP. Okay, why SAP rather than other ERPs? Now, here I want to know a picture where basically I have a different departments which would be integrated with each others. Okay, before I answer that question, let me ask you a question. What are the competitors? Who are the other competitors of SAP? When we talk about ERP, if a company wants to implement SAP, what are the other competitors they can think about it? What are the other softwares who can give the same services or similar kind of services which business can think, yeah, nahi, other than SAP, I can also put that software. What is that software? What is the competition in the market? Quickly on the chat window. Oracle. I got one answer from Sampa Oracle. Anusha has does not any answer. Pratima said Oracle, JD Edwards, Microsoft. From Microsoft, we have MSD. Oracle, we have a Fusion. We also have OTM, Oracle Transport Management also. Salesforce is also there, very good, Pratim. Salesforce is also there. So these are the different ERP system which is available. MSD, Microsoft Dynamics, JD Edwards has a specific solution for the warehouse management, procurement also. Within procurement also we have earlier we were having Ariba, which was focusing within procurement also. It was focusing on the indirect part. Now we have a Coupa. Ariba has been acquired in 2010. Ariba is acquired by SAP itself. We also have Coupa for the buying ERP, this that supports the buying functions. So these Oracle is there, IBM has its products, Microsoft has its product as a Microsoft Dynamics. So multiple different companies are there. But why SAP is so special? Why SAP is ruling that market? Okay, if you will go the major Fortune 500 companies, you will find 80% of the business from the SAP. Even there is some calculation recently which I have reading the article. 80% of the world revenue from all of the companies who are generating 80% of the world revenue is associated through the SAP products. Somewhere some SAP product has been used either in the planning, in the ERP segment, or into the buying, or into the management, transport management. uh, SAP products has been used. Now, what makes SAP so such a favorable solution that why companies are adopting to SAP rather than adopting to Oracle or JD Edwards? There are companies who are into it, but there are many companies who are switching from Microsoft Dynamics, from the Oracle. Two of the example recently, I know we are basically from Oracle, we are shifting to SAP, helping a business. Another business, we are helping them to shift from Microsoft Dynamics to SAP. So why companies are adopting? The one of the biggest answer is SAP is providing solution. The core S4 HANA, if you will see, it has solution for all of the departments. I have not talked about the HR department here. Okay, they also have a solution for HR. For all supply chains, whether it's a quality management, QM, they need to maintain the quality, or whether it's any another department, they have a solutions, integrated solution for all. And these all departments, quality management, plant maintenance, inventory, finance, in finance also you will be having AR, AP, asset management, sales. These all are strongly integrated with each other. Okay, any transaction you do it at one place, it's SAP make sure that its integration is there with wherever it's required in all of the places. Finance is integrated with all of the modules. So what make SAP so special is its integration. It's strongly integrated with all of the modules with each other. And what makes it so complex is also its integration. So it's so special because of the integration, but integration is also making it very complex. You do want to do some change here, you need to have a check with what would be impact in inventory management, what would be impact in FICO. You're doing something in planning, you need to make sure you check what would be the impact in the buying side, production side, or the sales side, what would be the impact. You need to check it, right? That's where basically companies wants to adopt it SAP because it's integrated. That's what they wanted. But to adopt to SAP, it's not like that, you want to use a Google Drive, just quickly installed with 15 minutes, it's ready. SAP software does not get ready in 15 minutes. A typical implementation in SAP will take you around the minimum time which we have taken is a 5 months. I have done a project in 5 months. Maximum time which has we had taken is 18 months. I'm not talking about the some projects which has crossed 2 years, 2.5 years also has been taken. The project got stopped in between. I'm not talking about those projects. The continuous work which we have done, one of the biggest implementation, it took 18 months with around, we did the implementation in 7 countries and around 100 consultants was involved in it. The smallest one which we have done is in 5 months, around 25 to 30 consultants was involved in it to get the delivery, to get the implementation. Now, why so many consultants are required? Why so many months are required? Because one thing is that the business process would be complex. And when SAP is integrating everything, SAP itself is a complex. So you need sharp minds. You need specific minds who can understand how to configure it, how to set it up, and how the integration will happen with the, all other modules. That's why you would require a specific consultants. That's why you were requiring a specific SAP consultant requirement would be there who can help the business first to implement it, and after the implementation also, because the system is so complex, you pull up one string and it would be touching 10 another strings. It can make the disturbance. So to maintain also you need a support consultants, right? So that is feeding the market of consultants. It's complexity at the back end that's feeding the demand of the consultant, and that's why they are paying high. And because it is used in business, if you disturb something here, you are consultant, you did some wrong configuration, it went into the production system, your whole, not only your buying operation will stop, your whole supply chain gets stuck. Okay, you are not able to receive the materials, which will mean that you will not be able to produce it, which means you will not be able to sell it. Once a company implement SAP, they would be depending so much in SAP that one wrong thing can happen in SAP, their business can stop. That's why there's a requirement. People also want experience, intelligent, smart people as a consultant who would be doing the right things, because their complete business is depending on the SAP. I know, I have 18 years of experience. I said I know the instances where a consultant has done the wrong things, wrong configuration, moved into the production system, and the full business got stopped for 6 hours. One cases the business was impacted for 3 days. A lot of wrong invoices was issued to the customers, and the consulting company was sued by the client. Okay, so that's why basically we need specific consultant who knows the specific things and knowledge, who can make sure all the things happen in the right way and rightly it is done in the system. That's just bringing a lot of demand for SAP consultant. That's why you all are sitting here. You want to learn a particular module to become a consultant and to serve the implementations and the support projects. And because the things are complex, because the knowledge is specific, the experienced people are also paid very high. Okay, so I try to answer a question that what is business, what are the different modules would be there in SAP, why SAP is required, what is bringing a lot of demand for the SAP consultant. Those are the questions I try to answer it. Still not, I have not jumped. I have also tried to give you the overview of the different modules which would be available in SAP. Apart from this, so these modules which I have talked about, these modules are called functional modules. So far, whatever the modules I have talked about, it's called functional modules. We also have some technical modules. Okay, so technical modules. So functional consultant, you are coming for this training, you will be becoming a functional consultant who would be helping a business to take the requirement. You would be doing the requirement gathering, what business requirement has. You would be explaining to the business how SAP works, what is the standard solution from SAP. You would be helping them to configure the SAP system, to set up the master data. That work you'll be doing as a consultant. Once the setup has been done, you would be working as a support consultant to make sure any problem comes, a ticket is raised to you. That's a part of the functional consultant and functional module consultant. Then we also have a technical stream. We have a basis, we have ABAP, we have Fiori. These are the technical streams. We are basically coding. Even the basis does not require the coding, but ABAP and Fiori would require coding, where people would be coding it, because you would be doing configuration, but at the back end, there is some code which has been written in the ABAP language, which is working. So sometimes, not sometimes, in each of the project, there would be business would be having some requirement which you are not able to fulfill it by fine tuning the master data or by fine tuning the configurations. You need to change the SAP code. You need to enhance the SAP code. You need to develop new reports. For that, you will be requiring a technical consultant. They would be working on the coding part, writing a code. Then we have one more technical field is there, BI, business intelligence, and business warehouse. These teams would be working on the reportings. The complex reportings would be delivered by the product BI and BW. There would be a separate consultant for that. Okay, so these are the some few more modules would be there. If you feel in this diagram I have missed any of the module, okay, you can put on the chat. Otherwise, so far if you have any question, you can ask. Now you can unmute yourself if you want to ask a question, or you can also type your question on the chat. Okay, and in meantime, you can let me know if I have missed any module here. I will also explain what is that module and how it will be integrating with your MM module. Okay. So any questions if you're having, you can feel free to unmute yourself.
Hello, sir. Pratima here.
Hi,
My
Pratima.
question is, hello. Yeah, my question is, you mentioned Ariba and Coupa, they do indirect procurement, and MM
Mhm.
does is capable of direct and indirect procurement. The reason why Ariba or Coupa is not capable of direct procurement, is it because of inventory management and the capability, which SAP has with other, of course, Ariba is an SAP product now, but yeah, is it because of inventory management mainly?
No. So Ariba can do the direct procurement. Coupa can also do the direct procurement. Okay. The why the reason is that the company prefer to use for the direct procurement. They prefer to use it. Sorry, Rakwan, can you please go on mute? Thank you. Yeah, so Pratibha, I was answering your question. The reason why companies has moved is prefer that the direct procurement happen from the SAP side, and the indirect procurement happens from your Coupa or Ariba side. The major reason is sourcing. I would talk about the difference between sourcing and procurement. SAP in ECC and S4HANA. S4HANA, they have a little bit more functionality of sourcing. ECC, there's hardly only one cycle is there for sourcing. So SAP S4HANA is not a very strong product for the sourcing. Other people would not be able to understand because that is the next topic I want to talk about, difference between sourcing and procurement. So S4HANA or ECC is a very good product for the procurement side of it, but they are not very good for the sourcing. And you will see that for the indirect procurement, you require sourcing a lot, because for the direct procurement, sugar you are buying, in my example I have given, fruits we are buying, so that would be continuously buying, we are continuously manufacturing. So the same kind of product for the full year we'll be continuously buying, so there would be fixed vendor would be there. So we need to focus more onto the procurement cycle of it. But for indirect procurement, for indirect materials, every month there would be 8, 10, 15, 20 materials which will come new, which we have not bought in the previous month. So sourcing to identify that which vendor should be the one from which we should buy it, who would be able to give it into the best price to us. That sourcing functionality is not strong in S4HANA. That is the reason that why companies are preferring Coupa or Ariba for indirect buying.
Okay, thank you. So it is capable, basically, that's capable of direct procurement as well, but
It's
it's
capable of
because,
direct procurement itself.
yeah,
Yes, it's capable.
yeah. Okay, thank you. Thanks.
Sure. Okay, is there any another question? You feel that any of the module in the integration we have we have missed, you can mention it here. If there's no question, you can put NQ in the chat window. Quickly put NQ, everyone. If there's no question ahead, put NQ in the chat window. Thank you, thank you, thank you for responding. Let's move ahead. Now you understand the business scenario, that what is end-to-end business, why we require SAP, and what are the different modules. Now we'll be jumping into to let you know that what is sourcing and what is procurement. Okay, I will draw a full structure here from the starting so that we can engage with you a little bit more. Can you help with me with the procurement cycle? You can unmute yourself and you can speak, and I would be writing from where the procurement cycle starts.
Sourcing the supplier,
Sorry,
or yeah, finding the supplier, or the need for the product, basically.
need for the product. What is the need for the product? What document we create for the need for the product?
POPR.
PR, PR. In SAP, it will be calling it PR, but you are correct. It's a need for the product. Purchase requisition. Purchase acquisition is generally which tell that what do we require, what quantity we require, and what do we require, what quantity we require it, and when do we require it. PR can have more information about this thing, but these three are the minimum thing we want to know. What do we require, how much quantity it should be, and when do we require it. Who would be supplying is not part of the requirement. Okay, because this generally these PRs would be coming from the different departments. So they want A4 paper, they want a printer, they want a mobile phone, they want a laptop, they want to buy a sugar, they want to buy a fruit concentrate, they want to buy a chemical. They are not supposed to go into the market, check who are the vendor for it, who can be the vendor, what would be the price. No, neither price comes here nor the vendors comes here. It's just a requirement. So first thing is the PR. What would be the next document after the PR?
G-
PO, right? Purchase order. Then the purchase order comes into the picture. From PR, we'll be creating a purchase order. The additional details you would be putting, now the purchase order would be created by the sourcing team, buying team. The additional thing which will be coming here in the purchase order, which was not there in PR, is your vendor details, who would be the supplier, and what price we are going to buying it. And this become a legal document. Purchase order is a legal document which you are giving it to your buyer, and based on that he would be supplying the material to you. What would be happening after the PO? What would be happening after the PO?
Good receipt.
Anything else? Any important step before the good receipt? One is very
Need to check
important.
discrepancy.
Mhm. Discrepancy. Okay, what discrepancy?
I
One
mean,
very important.
order fulfillment, whether our purchase quantity are match or not.
Okay, okay. We want to check it. Yeah,
Maybe
you are right
confirmation
that
from supplier.
information from supplier. Okay, confirmation from
Confirmation.
supplier or acknowledgement from supplier. Yes, you are right. That is required. Confirmation, acknowledgement can be required. But one of the very important thing is before you send the PO to vendor, would be coming is approval. You know that we can do the buying part, as I've told you. If you don't have a module, if you don't have a sourcing and procurement module, we have in FICO, we have a accounts payable AP module. With AP module also, you would be able to do the transaction with your vendor, you would be able to receive the goods, you would be able to also pay to the vendor. But people implement modules because they need additional control. Okay, one of the control which required for all of the business in my last 18 years, I have not seen any of the company who has implemented SAP or sourcing and procurement and they don't have approval process. They want to make sure that the purchase order first go with the approval. So we are talking about the discrepancies, right? That we need to check. We need to also check about the prices. We need to also check about the right vendor is there or not, because this would be a kind of a legal document, And against this document, we will be making sure that we are liable to buy that material and we are liable to pay also. Okay, and the payment would be going out from your company. Okay, payment would be going out from your pockets. So that is the place where the chances of happening fraudery is highest. Okay, that need to be controlled. So there should be a very good approval mechanism should be there, which would be controlling so that you are not creating a wrong PO, or we are making sure that the nobody is doing a fraud in the system. Additional control we are putting. So the approval process need to come here. And after the approval, somebody talk about the vendor confirmation or acknowledgement that can come. Vendor is acknowledging that he has received the PO. So once these steps are done, what would be the next step? What would be the next step after this? After the approval is done, vendor confirmation is done, acknowledgement is done, what would be the next step?
GRN.
GRN, good receipt. Then after that, I would be doing GRN, good receipt I would be doing. What will happen after the GR?
Invoice.
Yes, after GR, we'll be creating the invoice document. Vendor has given us invoice that would be created in our system, or it is also known as LIV, logistics invoice verification. That I would be doing it. Three-way match, I would be doing it, and then the payment will happen to the vendor. In between here also we can also have a IBD, inbound delivery. After the vendor confirmation, we can get an inbound delivery created, and against the inbound delivery we would be able to do the GRN. Now this process, the right hand side process which we have mentioned, it will also go with a lot of different variations. After PR, purchase acquisition, also there can some approval process can come here also. And then there can be a different process for if it is a pipeline procurements, there can be a little bit different product scenarios. If there is a stock transfers, internal stock transfers, there can be different scenarios. If it is a third party sales, there can be a different scenario. If it is a consignment procurement, there can be different scenarios. A lot of variations will come in this process. But this whole process, the right hand process, would be taking part coming into the procurement side. Now what is sourcing side then? Now for the sourcing side, one of the things which would be coming here, the initiator can be the common one, can be the PR. So here, before we create a vendor, we would be checking, do we have a source available, right? Source is available. Do we know if the vendor is available or not, or we have a vendor with the right place or not? If your answer come from here, source available is yes, yes, we do have a source available, then you would be going ahead and creating a purchase order. If you said that no, for this requirement I don't have a source available, then you would be starting with your sourcing part. Now for the sourcing part, what we will be doing it? What is the first document you will be creating to start your sourcing? Anyone quickly, maybe on the chat if you don't want to speak.
Supplier request.
Supplier request. Okay, we call it as a RFQ.
RFQ.
Yes,
Yeah.
we call it as the RFQ. RFQ would be the first document which you would be creating. Request for quotation. You would be sending a request for quotations to the suppliers that they would be giving you the quotations. What would be the next part? Once the request for quotation has been done, vendor would be giving you the quotations, right? You have asked for the quotations, they would be sending you, okay, I can deliver this product in that price in that date. So they would be sending you the quotations. You would be receiving the quotations, and once you receive the quotations, you would be doing a comparison. Okay, that which quotation is better, and then from the comparison you would be doing the reward function. You would reward, and when you reward it, that reward transaction will get integrated back to your procurement side, and then with this reward you can get a PO generated, or with this reward you can also get a contract generated, and from the contract you can create a purchase order. So this left hand cycle is basically your sourcing cycle. The left hand part is sourcing. We are making sure whether the source is available or not. It's not always that if the source is not available, we'll be doing. Sometimes the source is available, but we think that this source is not giving us the right quality material, or he's not giving us the right prices. So we need to check for the alternate resources. Sometimes you say that, okay, one source is there, but it's my critical material, it's my juice concentrate. I am producing juice and I am depending on a single vendor to give me the juice concentrate. If something happens to that vendor, I would be in trouble. My supply chain will get stopped. So I always think that I should be having 2, 3 reliable vendor for my critical materials. So I need to make sure, okay, I'm developing a new resources for that. Okay, so that is the sourcing part. In the business language, this department is many times known as a VD, vendor development. Okay, there would be a team who would be working on the vendor development part. They would be working on it. Now, this sourcing, do we have available in S4 HANA? Yes, we have available in S4 HANA. I would be covering this sourcing part into the excellence. We have two trainings. We have excellence training and we have mastery training. Now, in 19th, I'm starting the mastery one. I would be covering this cycle in S4 HANA in excellence, but because in S4 HANA, this cycle completely got changed. We do this cycle with Fiori applications. In ECC also we have this cycle available, sourcing cycle available. We have this cycle with the transaction codes. Okay. Now somebody asked me a question that why Ariba or Coupa has been used. So I was answering them the sourcing functionality is not that strong. The sourcing is available, right? On the left hand side you see it was available in ECC. It is also available in S4 HANA. So what are the things you see here which is missing, which will make sure, which will be asking that, okay, apart from S4 HANA, we need to put Ariba in place. To let you know, Ariba is a separate module and Ariba is a separate product. We also have Ariba trainings available. They are the separate Ariba consultants. So SAP said to the clients that, boss, if you want a complete digital solution for your sourcing and procurement, we have two products for it. S4HANA plus Ariba would be giving you all advanced function features and end-to-end digitalization of your sourcing and procurement. Now, by seeing this picture, you let me know what are the things you see here which is missing, for why we are saying that sourcing is not that good or great functionality in S4HANA. What are the things is missing in sourcing?
Maybe like a request for information.
Request for information, okay. RFI.
And like integration directly with suppliers. Like when I raise the RFQ, I need supplier to interact with me immediately on a portal, so he can give me like the prices.
Yes, direct integration with supplier. That is the second thing which is missing. I want a direct integration. I would be Now this is a manual process. In ECC S/4HANA, you generate RFQ document, you send it to the suppliers. It's all manual. If you want to do it automatically, the other thing we call it as a bidding. You want to generate a bidding. You want to make sure that in your network there are pool of vendors which is available in the network, and then you just throw your requirement to all of this pool, and these vendors start uh, doing the bidding process, and then with the bidding process you do the comparison. Once whatever the quotation you receive, you do the comparison and do the rewarding. So that kind of bidding functionality is required. Uh, automation required. Documentless. We have physical document we don't require on the paper. That process is required. That one is missing. So these all functionalities, if you require, we say that we have those functionality in Ariba. Just S/4HANA just will be providing you this solution, but all of this functionality would be there in Ariba. Okay. Apart from that, you also require your vendor onboarding. Vendor onboarding also can have a multiple steps. If you want to onboard your vendor, if you're working with company, you might be knowing that how difficult the process is to onboard a vendor. It can take 2 to 3 months itself. So there are the multiple checks we need to do for the vendor before onboarding, multiple audits we need to do for the vendors, financial audits, quality audits we need to do for the vendors to check whether this is the right guy we can buy a material from. And then there would be approval process need to be taken to make sure that when the vendor has been onboarded in our supply chain. So when we do in ECC, when we do in S/4HANA, we just as a single transaction BP or XDVD transactions, which we use it to directly create a vendor, right? That we directly punch a vendor in the system. But before punching a vendor in the system, there's a huge long process which need to be done. The validation, the checking of the certifications, all these documentations, we need to do it. And all process in S/4HANA, we do it outside of the system. But if you want to make sure that you want to do inside the system, then this vendor onboarding, the full process comes with the Ariba. It's not available in S/4HANA. Okay. Then when it comes to the invoice, if you want your suppliers to directly give the invoices to you, okay, through the system itself, that kind of automations you require it, that also is available in Ariba. Wherever it comes, the automatic integrations, giving a purchase order directly to the vendor without any sending them PDF, emails, or physical documents, and vendor is directly giving you the confirmation. Okay, vendor is directly giving you the confirmation. These all automations and integrations with the vendor, if you require, you need to go for Ariba. Okay, Ariba would be able to do those automatic integration with the vendor. Ariba will give you the vendor portal. Okay, so vendor portal is missing here. In the vendor portal, vendor would be able to see that whatever the purchase order we have given it to them, for which they need to delivery, how much they have delivered, what more they need to deliver. That vendor portal also would be coming with Ariba. Okay, so that kind of functions which would be coming with Ariba. One of the another function is guided buying, where basically you would be buying it, and then during the buying there would be additional steps would be there. Whether it's not like that you are buying a phone of very high price of 80,000, 90,000 phone you are trying to buy it, system will stop you. Even the PR system will not allow to create it. So that kind of guided buying functions are also available from the Ariba side. If you want to create a project, so there would be a projects within the sourcing team itself to monitor your vendors and to monitor and analyze your spend management, and spend analysis also is very strong in Ariba. Few of the things you will see in S/4HANA I will be covering in the excellence module. There are some spend analysis now is available of very basic style. The spend management, the activity management is now also available in S4 HANA. So we need to do a lot of these activities in the sourcing side to onboard a vendor, to do the workshops with vendor, to give them the information, to take the information. A lot of activities we need to do. All of these activities management can handle in Ariba under the project section. But now in S4HANA, we have activity management, which can help us to do some kind of activity handling within S4HANA itself. That I will be covering in the excellence training. What is activity management, which is new in S4HANA? Then we have a category management. Then the vendor evaluation also comes as a sourcing part. When you onboard a vendor, you need to also make sure that they are working with the high performance. The vendor scores are good. If the vendor scores are not good, you need to work with the vendors. You need to audit them to make sure that they are improving themselves to improve the scores. So vendor evaluation also comes into the sourcing part. Vendor evaluation is available in S4 HANA. Earlier it was available in ECC. S4 HANA, it is enhanced version of vendor evaluations are available. So all this part which is apart from the operational procurement, getting a PO approval done, vendor confirmation done, IBD generated, doing a GR, invoice done, making sure the payment has happened so that the supplies get continuous, handling with the vendor, uh, contacting a vendor to make sure that they are delivering the right product at the right time. These all are the operational procurement part which comes into the procurement side. And then sourcing part is come into the left hand side. SAP S/4HANA has both sourcing and procurement. Procurement is very strong, integrated with the different modules, inventory management integration, production, the planning integration, FICO integrations are very good into the procurement side, but automated integration with vendor are not good. That is where basically the another module comes into the picture, Ariba comes into the picture to get the automated integration with the vendor. And the vendor onboarding part, the bidding part, those advanced functionality in the sourcing, you need to go for Ariba. Any questions here before I proceed ahead? I hope now with this explanation, you understand what is sourcing, what is procurement, what is strong part of SAP S4 HANA, and where the Ariba will come into the picture. If you have any question, you can feel free to ask.
Ravinder, Raghuvan here.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. So, like regarding the S4 HANA and other integrations like SCC, supply chain collaboration, and another one is commerce automation. So, so commerce automation is an integral part of S4 HANA, or it's entirely a different component.
Sorry, you said one SCC, supply chain collaboration. What is the second thing you
Yeah.
said?
Commerce automation.
E-commerce automation.
Yeah, commerce automation. Yeah.
Yeah, so that is not an integral part of SAP S/4HANA. The both are not an integral part. The both are separate products which you need to buy separately. You need to take a separate
Mhm.
license, and then you need to do the integration with the specific consultants.
Okay.
Even the supply chain collaboration (SCC), 90% of the Ariba
SEC is not
consultants
equal to
know it.
commerce, right? It's a entirely a different one, right? SEC and commerce automation are both are different.
Commerce automation, frankly speaking, I have not heard much on the commerce automation.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so I would not be having that great idea on the commerce automation. But SCC, I can tell you, supply chain collaboration is one of the component which we have discussed with one of the client. We are basically integrating S4HANA, IBP, and Ariba, all three speaking with each other with SCC, supply chain collaboration. And believe
Okay.
me, it basically comes into the Ariba, but 90% of the Ariba consultant also does not know SCC because it's very new and it has been used. It has just came into the picture in last 2 3 years and not much used as of now. SAP is still
Yeah.
developing. It still need to go into the mature side before people start adapting to it.
Thank you.
Sure.
I have a question here, please.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Like you have mentioned, like for sourcing, you mentioned it will be handled by SAP Ariba. It's fine. But what I read about SAP Ariba is that it has like sub-modules, like SLP and different sub-modules in the sourcing. So can you give like a brief on the sub-modules in Ariba and the for the part of the invoice, like supplier can submit the invoice by himself. It's through Ariba sourcing or it's Ariba procurement.
Okay, so I will not go into the much detail because this is not a Ariba session. I just still want to stick into the sourcing and procurement without going into Ariba. So, Sheriff, you can jump into our Ariba trainings, where basically we go into the very depth of Ariba. But when it comes to the Ariba, so your Ariba gives you the functionality, the different functionality, the integration points between your SAP sourcing and procurement and the Ariba. There can be the different scenarios. At which point you want to integrate both of them, you can configure it accordingly. You can configure. I will just give you example that you have created a purchase acquisition, you have a auto sourcing into the purchase acquisition, where basically the vendors get selected from the planning itself. The vendor gets selected in the purchase acquisition, but then you have some purchase acquisition where basically the vendor has not been assigned, vendor has not been allocated to the purchase acquisition. Those purchase acquisition, you can take it as a start point to take it to Ariba. Okay, and then when you want to bring back to the S4 HANA, that also you can configure it. You can say that, okay, this purchase acquisition I'm taking into the Ariba, and from Ariba I would be just doing my bidding process. Whatever the quotations are coming, I will send the quotations to the S4 HANA system, and in S4 HANA system I will be doing my comparison. Or you can say that I would be sending it to Ariba. Ariba will do all the process until reward purchase order is generated, and once the PO is generated, that I will take it back to the S4 HANA. The similar way you can also control that after the purchase order, do you want to get the invoice also take from the Ariba? It will be generated from the Ariba, and you want to take it to S4 HANA, or invoices would be manually punched in S4 HANA, that you can control. So there can be 15 to 20 different combinations which can happen, how the Ariba will get integrated with S4 HANA. Okay.
Yeah, clear.
And
Thanks.
at largely, Sheriff, at largely, Ariba is divided into the upstream and downstream. These are the two large dividation, and under that we have more modules.
Yeah, clear. Thanks.
Sure. And then the another question I have on the chat, what is the major difference between mastery and excellence course? So we have two courses. One is now on the 19th, we are starting the mastery course. Mastery course is for all of the people who wants to jump as a SAP S/4HANA sourcing and procurement as a consultant, and they are the freshers. They don't know, they have not done any consulting. They want to start their career in SAP. Okay, those are the people who need to start with SAP S/4HANA sourcing and procurement. Mastery part. Mastery part will be going into very much of the core. We'll be talking about all the configuration. We'll be talking about all the master data. We'll talk about all the different scenarios, how it happens in SAP. That is the mastery training. Now, excellence training is for the people who has more than 3 years of experience in SAP or in sourcing and procurement. They have, as a consultant, they have more than 3 years of experience. They have worked a lot in ECC. Those people can go for excellence, or the people who have covered the mastery, they can jump into excellence. In excellence, we focus majorly on that what is the difference between ECC and S4 HANA. Okay, what are the functionalities are there in ECC, and what would be the functionality in S4 HANA? Let's say the activity management, category management, then your new RFQ process with S4 HANA, then your new approval process with flexible Fiori workflows, then your conversion, how the conversion need to happen, how the vendors will get integrated with BP during the conversion, how the BP concepts comes into the picture, how the Fiori applications comes into the picture, how the full cycle will happen with Fiori, what are the Fiori analytics is available, how the data would be uploaded to the HANA migration cockpit, how the activate management will come into the picture. All of the new things which has been introduced in S4HANA, which is not there in ECC, that would be covered in Excellence. In Excellence, we don't go into the core of the configuration. I will not be talking about the pipeline procurement. I would not be talking about the subcontracting, that what is pipeline procurement, what is subcontracting, what master data, what configuration, that I don't cover in Excellence. In Excellence, I would be directly jumping that in subcontracting, there is some change in S4HANA. What is that change? In batch management, there is some change in S4HANA. What is that change? So those changes in S4HANA, the delta, it's kind of a delta training. Either you should be having a more than 3 years of experience in SAP consulting, or you have completed mastery, then you would be eligible to go for Excellence. Okay. So that was the question, that what is the mastery and excellence. Any other question before we jump ahead? Okay. If you don't have any other question, I would be proceeding ahead. I am clearing the screen. Now you understand what is sourcing and what is procurement. So what is sourcing, what is procurement, you understand? Sometimes people also ask me that, Parminder, what is simple logistics? So simple logistics is nothing but just a terminology. There is no product as a simple logistics. There is no module as a simple logistics. The module is SAP S/4HANA sourcing and procurement. Earlier it was SAP MM. Simple logistic is just a terminology, which means that all the logistics related changes in S/4HANA compared to ECC. What are the new things has been introduced in the logistics side? Whether it's the data model got changed or all the excellence features which I have talked about, those all comes into the simple logistics. So simple logistics is basically delta between ECC and S4HANA. As a word, it not only for the sourcing and procurement, not only for MM, it's for all logistics module. Other than technical and finance, all logistics modules comes under it. So this is basically delta between ECC and S4HANA for the logistics module. So if you want to look for simple logistics, the excellence training is the one for you. So we have also talked about the integration with the other modules, that how the integration will happen with the other modules. Now, who would be the users quickly? In the buyers can be the user for this MM module or sourcing and procurement, store managers, procurement managers, even the directors can also be the users because they need to approve the purchase orders. Those can be the users for these modules. Now we would be having a detailed curriculum. Okay, the team would be sending you the detailed curriculum if you have not received. But just to give you a viewpoint that we have this, we'll be jumping into the Fiori part. We'll be setting up the system. In our training, we need to do all the system setup end to end, starting from the company code till your purchase organization, and everything you need to create by your own, including the master data. I would be doing one cycle with you where I will give you the example. Okay, this is the vendor you use, this is the company code you use, this is the plant you use it. That is the one cycle. We'll quickly do it. But when this one cycle has been done, then I would be asking you, boss, now you do all the things with your own hand. You will be going through and setting up all the system uh, from the company code setup till the full setup will be doing in the system. We'll also do one cycle run with the Fiori, then we'll jump into the enterprise structure in detail, that what are the different enterprise structures are there. Okay, we'll be discussing in detail, and then you will be creating your own enterprise structure. Then we'll be jumping into the master data, all the different material master, business partner, purchase info record, sourcing list, quota arrangement, service master. We'll be discussing it in detail one by one. Then we'll jump into the different type of procurements, direct procurement, indirect procurement, how to do it, what would be the different cycles would be there for direct procurement, indirect procurement, what different kind of indirect procurement we can do it. That we'll be discussing. Then we'll jumping into the procurement planning, where I will give you a little bit overview of the MRP, how the MRP is going to happen. Then we'll go to the configurations. In the configuration, we'll be covering the account determination, OBYC. There will be a detailed session, document type configuration, and the approval strategy. It's called release strategy. In Mastery, we cover the release strategy, and in Excellence, we'll be covering the flexible Fiori workflows. How the release strategy works, that all configuration will be covering it. What are the special processes, configuration for the special processes, vendor confirmation, the transfers, transfer postings or intra-stroke transfer, intercompany transfers, subcontracting process, consignment process, pipeline process will be covering it. We'll be jumping into the batch management, release strategy, output determination, logistics invoice verification, and inventory management. Those would be the highlight of the full curriculum, which we'll try to cover in 2 months. We'll be having 2 sessions, one on the weekend and one session would be on the Wednesday morning. 2 sessions per week would be there. Okay. Now, before I jump ahead, I want to show you two key things. First is 10 keys to success. What are the 10 keys to success? Whoever wants to learn SAP S/4HANA sourcing and procurement, what are those 10 keys which you need to make it note down and you need to do in the right way? And what would be the vehicle to success? Those two things I want to show it to you. Okay. Any questions before I jump into the top 10 keys for success for becoming a successful sourcing and procurement consultant? Okay, if you don't have any question, let me proceed ahead. So key number one is never quit. I'm training it for so many long. I have created all the products like this so that you would be having all the things which you required with the minimum price quote. Okay. So I have delivered directed it right that way. So one of the thing which people face that why they are not able to become a sourcing and procurement consultant or MM consultant. Not everyone will become. Everyone try to think. Some people just think and they are just thinking 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, just they are thinking. Some people try to start it. They start with a lot of enthusiasm and then they quit it. Okay. The only reason you will not be able to become a SAP consultant or right now here SAP MM consultant is you quit. It can take some time. It can take a little bit longer. For me, when I started working on it, it took me 3 years. Okay, so when I got my first job as a PP consultant in Accenture, it took me 3 years. I have designed this curriculum and all the products which I have put, you will be getting a combination of products. I have put it all the products together in that combination and give it to you to make sure that you know that the journey which I have done in 3 years, you should be able to do that journey in 6 months, 9 months. I have example people who got successful, who become successful in within 3 months also. 4 months also people start getting offers and they have also shortlisted for a few of the requirements. But for some people it can take longer time. Okay. So one thing you need to make sure you never quit. You keep on working on it. You keep on improving on it. If you do it, you would be able to get it done. I have put it all the things to make so that you don't spend 3 years like me. And within that 3 years, 18 years ago, I also spent it almost 4 lakh rupees, which is equivalent to now, if you will cover it, it comes to 12 to 15 lakh rupees I've spent to become SAP consultant. Neither I want you to spend that much of huge money, nor I want you to spend that much of time. Okay, that kind of things are there, but you need to make sure to put efforts and never quit it. If you will never quit, you would definitely become successful. You should be always be in a high energy. Okay, why I am doing all this live session, everything as soon as you enrolled it, you get all the full curriculum which I am discussing here. Same day you get it all as a recorded videos. Okay, why I'm doing all these live sessions. Okay, and apart from the 2 live session I'm telling it to you, I would be doing actually 3 live session. Monday morning also I do one live session. This is all the live session is to make sure that you need to be in high in energy. You cannot learn SAP while sleeping. Okay, you need to be, when you are learning something, you need to be very high in energy. And how you would never quit it, how you will be high in energy, you need to keep yourself motivated. And these live sessions are basically arranged to get yourself motivated. Otherwise, you can get it learn from boss, you can Google also, you can learn it, YouTube also you can learn it, Udemy also you can learn it, but the success rate is very low. Okay, I also 2 years back, in between for 6 months, I stopped live sessions. I was busy. I started giving the videos. But I found that, people take the videos. I do all the analysis from my LMS. They do first session, second session, and then I saw that the people are getting dropping down. You would be having a lot of materials with you, but it is just sitting in your laptops and you don't go through it because you need some motivation. And I do this live session to make sure you are high in energy, you are motivated. I am checking it, my team is checking it, whether you are completing your assignments or not, whether you are updating your CVs or not, we are pushing it to you. So these sessions will not be the training or a simple learning session. I don't consider myself as a trainer. I consider myself as a coach. So my job is not to tell you that, boss, this is how the cycle works. My job is to make sure that you do that cycle with all the configuration and master data in system with your own hands. Then my job is over. Then I'm a coach, right? So that all things will be doing it. Only thing we need is that your focus. And to make sure that, sometime what happens that you are doing something, you get busy, you are not able to attend the all of the sessions and you lost the way, right? So to cover that also, what I have done, I have created this program for 1 year. So you would be getting access for 1 year live trainings, which means I have just last week, not sorry, today we are finishing it, the last batch, which we have covered in 2.5 months. Today we have finished that, and we would be starting on 19th again. So all the people who has finished the today's batch, they would also be able to start again on the 19th batch. We allow you to join all the live session which I am doing for sourcing and procurement mastery. If you have missed something, if you want to refresh it, you can join again. In 1 year, we do 3 to 4 cycles. You can join all of the cycles for learning sourcing and procurement mastery again. This is to make sure that you are attending live sessions and you're not quitting. The mantra to not quit is to join the live session. If you join the live session, you will come up into the pace, you will be in the high energy, you will be having a motivation, and you will be able to crack it. Make sure you don't miss the live sessions. Good hold on the business processes. Boss, some people ask me, ki, yaar, Parminder, if is future is there in SAP, what will happen if now apart from SAP, Coupa comes into the picture? What will happen? For functional consultant, there is not a problem. Whether SAP is there or not there, your future is secured. Why? If you have a very good hold on the business process. Now, when the Coupa come, I have also handled one of the project in Coupa. I personally was not involved, but we were there into the bidding phase of it. We also won that project. And when we want to put the Coupa resources, we actually try to check, do we have any Ariba resources? Do we have any resources? We brought out those resources, we trained them in Coupa, and then we put it then into the Coupa project. Because the business process remains same. There's not much change in the business process. How it is configured, how the master data is set up in the different tools are different. Whether you talk about MSD, whether you talk about JD Edwards, business process remains same. Make sure you have a very good hold on the business processes. We'll be defining all the business processes. I will be explaining you scratch. If subcontracting need to be used, what is subcontracting, why a business need to use it, in which cases it need not to use. That is the business process. And believe me, you will get the answer that how to do the subcontracting. Okay, what master data is required, what SPRO configuration is required, you will get those answers. But you don't get that answer that why to do the subcontracting, in which scenario I should consult, okay, do go for subcontracting process, in which scenario I would be consulting that do the subcontracting with bill of material, in which scenario I would be consulting do the subcontracting without bill of material structure. Those are the questions you don't get answers. Those are the strong people who would be having a strong hand on the business processes would be able to answer those questions. So if you have a very good hand on this business processes, people who are coming without any background from sourcing or procurement, they can still learn, but make sure whatever the process you're learning, just do a little bit more Google on the business process. Try to go in deeper into the business process. Why business process has been set up like this. In our training, that is the strongest part. We take you into the deep of the business process. What is business process? Why it has been set up like this? Clear all your basic concept. If you will see our success stories, the people I talked who has cracked the interviews, everyone is speaking. Hardly there is any interview which does not start with the basics. Okay, if you go through the basics, if your basics are very clear, your concepts are clear, business process you understand it, maybe you will not be able to tell what transaction I need to use it, what SPRO path I would not be able to do, but at least you would be able to give a good start to your interview by explaining all the basic things very clearly. Okay, so make sure you have a very clear concepts. System hands-on. Make sure you have a very good hands-on on the system. We'll be giving you from the third-party vendor, the server access will be given to you with the 3 months of the access. And we will also be having a weekend session focusing basically on the system hands-on. If you are having some problem with the system hands-on, you would be able to share your screen and we will be resolving it over the weekend session. Make sure you have a very good system hands-on. What I have faced, because I'm talking with all of my participants who are able to crack the interviews, who are still struggling and they are not able to crack the interviews, one of the basic thing I found it out, system hands-on. They have just theoretical knowledge, they have not gone into the system hands-on, they have not run end-to-end processes by their own. So once you have not done it, when the interview asks the question, you forget the things. But if you have done the things in your hand in the system, then it got printed in your mind. They ask some question here or there, you would be able to remember and you would be able to answer it. System hands-on is very important. Master your CV. So I am telling you the success, and I will go to the vehicle to success also, that how you would be able to do all of the things with us. I would also tell you. Mastery of the CV is very important. I know many people come to me and when I ask, okay, are you getting the interviews? They said, sir, I have, you know, that I have not done the certification. I still don't confident, so I have not updated my CV yet. I have not applied for the jobs. Two things. When you're doing the training with me, once the 50% training is completed, you all are supposed, I have a specific section which I have created how you need to create your CV. You need not to complete the full training to go into the market. Once the 50% training is completed, I will be asking you, create your CV as I have guided you and go into the market. And CV also, because you would not be in the front who would be saying that, okay, I am the one who you get selected with me. Your CV would be there in front of the, even in not front of the eyes, in automated computer system, which will get shortlisting your CVs. So your CV should be very good. That would be passing you the first firewall. A lot of people are not able to get the interview calls because the CV is very poor. Make sure you master your CV. Okay, how you would be mastering your CV, I would be talking about. We have one section which I have created for you, one full product which you will be getting complimentary with it, which is around 60 to 70 hours of training, that is called SAP Job Hunt Mastery. Because I know that out of this, you don't want to get trained only. You want to make sure that you get trained, you get your CV gets selected, you are facing the interviews, you get selected from the interview, then you are working in a project and you are able to deliver the project. That is goal of me. I'm a successful coach or a trainer if after getting my training you are working in a company as a consultant. If that is not happening, then either some problem in my training or there is some problem in your efforts. Okay, either one thing is wrong, which we need to correct it. Both can be corrected. I can also correct myself. You can also put more efforts to make sure that you reach that goal. But if that is not happening, then all the things we are doing is in waste. Okay, the end result and goal is very important. You take 3 months or you take 9 months, you can take longer time, but make sure the end results are meeting. And we have all the resources to make sure that you are meeting the end results. Okay, SAP Job and Mastery would be guiding you to create your CV in a right way, in a right fashion, and go into the market. And you will say that when you create a CV as I have guided, you will see the shower of interview calls. Don't go for one of the approach. I don't want people to complete the certification first and then go to the market. No. Before your training get completed, you should be available in the market giving the interviews, although you are not fully trained, although you are not certified. Okay, you should go into the market before that. Support and implementation project exposure. Okay, this is very important. You know that I tell you that why SAP is required, because it's very complex. When it is very complex, it has impact on the business. All the people want that whoever the consultant is handling, he should be the experienced one. That is one of the complaint I received from all of the people. They said, Parminder, you are asking for the training. We'll do the training, but all the places they ask for the experience. From where we get the experience? How you will be getting a chance as a fresher? First thing, there are companies who will give a chance to the freshers. Second thing, if you want to start it sometime, you need to put some support and implementation project exposure in your CVs. How you can put it, that I would be guiding you in job and mastery course. I have guided you. Okay, job and mastery course talked about this. SAP Job and Mastery course is a separate 60 to 70 hours of course where I will be taking you through with all the support activities as a consultant which do. Step by step from the business blueprint, from the prepare phase till the final cutover phase, whatever the activities, documentation you need to work on. How you need to prepare a functional specifications, how you need to prepare for the testing, what documents would be required as a consultant. So you will be getting a full implementation project exposure. Many people, they got trained from the other institutes, and then when they come to us, they did the job and mastery with us along with this mastery program, and then they found it that then they are able to quickly get it converted. Okay, they are able to get the jobs offers, and they are able to crack the interview also once they have gone through the support and implementation project exposure. So we have two ways. One way is that SAP job and mastery program, I'm giving you complimentary with this one. Second way, we also do the internships. You can also join the internship program also, but for the internship program we give complimentary, we don't charge for it. But we have a lot of applications for the internship programs. We are only giving internship programs to our students who has done mastery and excellence training both with us. Only those students we are right now giving a chance for the internship. In internship, we have an internship batch where all of the multiple SD, MM, PP, FICO, ABAP consultants are there, and I create a dummy project. Right now, the two project has been completed: one automotive project and US automotive, and one high tech. Two projects has been completed. So people work on those dummy project end to end, from the as a scenario to be process flow diagrams, business blueprint document, function specification creation. All those process people do by their own hands, and the ABAPers also do the developments for the function specifications. So we complete all implementation project phases in 6 months. So you can go by your own in the self phase, because you will be getting complimentary SAP job and mastery. If you said that, no, I want to create a BUP document, I want to create a FS documents with my own hands, and I would also be validating it with you. That will happen in the that will only happen in the uh, internship program. Okay. So if you can check with the training coordinator for the internship program, but we only give as a complimentary to the people who have subscribed the both of the training with us. Get SAP Global Certification. So global certification comes later. Your job hunt start first. Okay, make sure you follow the same. Get master your CV. Okay, first go to the job hunt, then do the global certification. Okay, we have a certification product to help you, and I have also let me show you full mind map. This is a TS452 certification mind map if you want to go through it. The certification, we in the product of certification, I have also specific videos for certification only. So that product also I'm giving you complimentary. You would be able to practice the question, you will be able to go through, and you will also get this mind map. If you will go through this mind map just one day before the certification exams, it will get printed in your mind, and many questions you would be able to answer. This is a very deep mind map, by the way. with SAP screenshot and everything. If I will explore it, it will go to 10 pages. Okay, so that mind map also you will get. The videos on TS452, certification preparation product, and you would be able to go through the questionnaires which we have given, take the quiz, prepare yourself for certification. That also you will get it complimentary with this course. Okay, the eighth key, know some advanced and technical things. Okay, functional specification, technical specification, BAPI as binding, IDOC processing. So that I will make it as a higher. I will make it at the point number 7. Then certification will come. Certification can come later, but make sure, because this would be asked in the interview, functional specification, technical specification. Do you know the BAPIs, bodies, IDOC processing? These all I have explained in SAP Job and Mastery. So make sure that you also, I will be asking you once you're mid of this training to start with SAP Job and Mastery course, which talks about all of these things, some additional things which will be asked in the interview. Overview of other modules, you need to make sure that you have an overview of other modules. So we do the step up circle. I will also give you the complimentary access to the step up circle, which I do every Monday morning. So once you enroll with this training, you would be able to also attend the step up circles, which happens every Monday morning. So I have covered the BAPIs, bodies, how to do the enhancements, how to do the data archiving part, the 2021 changes for the sourcing and procurement module, 2021 changes for SD module, the business partner changes, HANA migration cockpit changes in 2021 module. Okay, overview of TM, overview of Ariba, overview of EWM, overview of FICO, PP, QM. So many things we have covered in step up circles to make sure when you are with us, you're not only learning one subject which you have enrolled for, but you are also getting overview of another things also in SAP. SAP is deep ocean. You need to learn a lot. Once you selected this field as a SAP, you would be learning every day. You need to learn something new because it's very deep. So we understand that requirement, and we'll also give you access to step up circles so that apart from sourcing and procurement, you would also be getting overview of other modules through step up circles. Add one advanced module. Okay, sourcing and procurement excellence, Ariba or EWM. So you need to add this even I will put it on the number 8. Okay, SAP global certification, I can put it here at number 10 where it went. Okay, add one advanced module. Sometimes people would not be getting enough calls, so we ask them to go for EWM and Ariba training, especially people who has 10 to 15 years of domain experience. They're jumping as a consultant. They need to learn the multiple modules before they go to the market. Okay, so I would be asking you to learn Ariba or EWM also. With the combination of two modules, it is pakka, it is 100% sure you will be getting placed. Even we have also placed the candidates 40 plus years, 50 plus year in the age, and they got selected and they are working successfully as a consultant at that age also. They started their journey. But the key was we make them learn more than a module to enter into the SAP stream. So these are the 10 keys to success. Okay, make sure you have noted down all these 10 keys. Now, what is a vehicle to success? Instructor led. Now, this is the vehicle. So you know the keys. Now, what is a vehicle with us? Instructor led live sessions. Make sure you are joining the gamifier mode, the live sessions, system hands-on session, which is happening on weekend, and the step up circles. You are joining all the live sessions. You are doing a good hands-on. We have a S4 HANA Server Access available for 3 months. We have one product also you'll be getting S4 HANA Server Access. That is not only the product. I have also created, if you go through that product, it has a videos. Within 2 hours or 2.5 hours, you would be, even though if you are new, you would be able from company code creation to run your P2P cycle from scratch. You would be able to do in our system if you follow my video within 2 to 2.5 hours. You would be able to do it with your own master data, with all of your own configuration. So that kind of videos would be there in the server product. Apart from that, there would be also some general troubleshooting, that if you got stuck, that your period is not open, or some account determination errors you are getting, how to resolve those generic errors, that also the video I have put it there to help you out. Job and mastery, I have talked about a lot of keys there that you need to learn. A lot of things about the implementation, supports, body, BAPI, FS, preparation, business blueprint, document preparation, all things you need to able to learn from the job and mastery. Self-paced videos are available. You need to go. This is a specific 60 to 70 hours of training, and believe me, that itself nobody's in the market is providing. And I want success rate. I want you to make you successful. That's why I'm giving this complimentary to you. This would be the most important thing, okay, in the curriculum, which will land you in a SAP job. We also have offline support. You will be getting a dedicated Telegram channel. You would be having a lifetime access for that dedicated Telegram channel, and make sure you are following the community rules in the Telegram channel. You would be able to put your issues, and apart from putting your issues, I also want you to help other people to resolve the issues. Because you need to always, this is step up. You are standing on one of the ladder, and you will be reaching to the higher ladders month by month. When you're reaching to the higher ladders, there are some people which is below the ladder, so you need to always try to pull them up by resolving their issues. Okay, that way you will also be getting some example of support tickets which you will be resolving it. That once you get things done for yourself, you get a confidence level. But when you resolve the other people issues and make sure that they are able to do the things, your confidence level would be totally into the some another levels. So you put your issues into the Telegram channel, and you also try to resolve other people issues. That is the key. So we have a dynamic content videos. You will be getting an instructor-led sessions which will be happening, and all the recorded videos also you have. Okay, the both are available with you. You will be getting 1 year access for all of the videos plus instructor-led live sessions. As I said, that we don't give access to a batch, we give access to a community. So you will be getting a 1 year access to community, in which you would be able to complete this multiple times. You would also get chance to cross train yourself with the Monday live session, which we are doing 7 a.m. India Standard Time. So this is the vehicle to success. Okay, I hope now you know that what are the 10 keys to success and what vehicle we are providing it to, which will make you successful in this training. So that's all from my side. If you have any questions, you can feel free to ask before we jump out from this session. Anyone has any kind of question?
Guys, anyone is having any queries, please, you can unmute yourself and ask, or else we can conclude the session for the day.
Okay, so if you don't have any question, we would be ending our session here for today. I wish you to see that on 19 September is the date, right, Raj?
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
19
sir.
September we will be starting again from the scratch. Even the live session is happening continuously. Today also we were
That's
having a live session, and 19 September we'll be starting our gamifier mode from the scratch, from the starting itself. You would be able to jump into that, and I wish you to see all of you into the 19 September Wednesday morning.
yes. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Really appreciate your knowledge sharing and experience sharing, sir. Here, really appreciate your time and efforts. Thank you so much. And
Thank you,
thanks
Raj,
everyone.
and thank you everyone for giving us the time over the weekend to explain the things. I know that Sunday is the time which is very valuable. You are jumping into Monday, but thank you giving
Yes.
those 2 hours to us to explain our curriculum to you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you everyone. I'm leaving the session now. Bye bye.